led us all to this moment, but it's time for more. More value, more upside, and more control. Welcome to Last Mint, the platform that turns drops into talk of the timeline, mints into jackpots, NFTs into rarity reveals with price boosts, and the final minter, the chance to cash out big. For DGens, this is it. Hold your NFT or redeem it for Soul. Your mint is never a dead end. If you're not feeling it, you claim your soul back. Think that's cool? It gets even better for the creators. Launch your collection in 60 seconds. No code, no gatekeeping. That's guaranteed soul from every mint. And after 30 days, if collectors don't redeem, you keep the bag, plus your royalties. But here's the icing. Bring in others and earn for life. Every referral nets you 2% of their mints forever. Be early. Be lucky. Be late. NFT minting just leveled up. So, ready to mint smarter? Join the movement at lastmint.fun.
Boom. What is up, everybody? It is good to see you. Thanks for joining me. This is just kind of an impromptu stream. We're just hanging out. I got my daughter right here in the background. She wanted to kind of be in the background, so maybe we'll bring her on in a little bit. She actually has a collection live on Last Mint, which is super cool. But the big news here is that we just launched our big MPLX collection. We're doing a full AMA live stream with them less than 24 hours from now. Let me see. What time is it tomorrow? It's going to be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So it's like 1 p.m. my time. So 21 hours from now, I'll be doing a live stream with MPLX. They are the sponsor of this huge $5,000 worth of their MPLX token. And we're going to have over 300 winners to this collection. So we've got 300 people who have the opportunity to win $10 through this free mint. We have 10 people that will win $100. We have one person who will win $1,000, whoever the last minter is. So it should be quite a bit of fun. We have the Solana free mint going on right now. So it's fun time. So I figured we'll just hop on stream. We'll mint some digital slop. See if we can start this digital slop renaissance, right? I was on a call earlier today with somebody, interestingly enough. Oh, by the way, leave your comments in. I'll try and share them on screen here. Send your referral codes around. What I would say is, if you can, share this. If you're on X, it makes it really, really easy. Make sure you go get your referral code. If you want to know where your referral code is, just hit your little icon here, and then you'll be able to find what your referral code is. Mine's Corey. You can copy the link, and then just get to just retweet this. And as you retweet it, make sure you add your referral link. Guys, referral links are the easiest way to build your referral tree. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret right now. If you're watching this stream, we have verified creators, and our goal is that anybody who's that's early, that wants to help support this as we go from the first 500 people to the next 5,000 people to the next 50,000 people, those who are in early and want to reward us and help us grow, we want to make sure that you guys get a piece of the pie. And so we have this idea that you can become a verified creator. A couple things happen with a verified creator. Number one, you get a badge here so that everybody, when you're launching collections, can see that you are a verified creator. With that, when you're launching collections, it also means that when the collection period ends, there's 30-day window where people can basically have the decision to either keep the NFT or to redeem it through the platform. So you'll see here, if I go like my redeemables, I go with anything that's finished, I can redeem these for Soul, or I can hang on to this NFT. So if I'd rather have 0.009 Soul than this fling, I can hang on to the NFT, or pardon me, I can redeem it. So in fact, let's just do it right now. Let's just redeem this, sign the signature, boom. And we're going to watch another 0.009 Soul pump into our account. And now this is no longer redeemable, but these are all NFTs that I've minted. Some of these, like this Retro Float Club, I think these are cool. I think I'd rather hang on to the NFT than have these. All these are pretty cool. This is one of my favorites, Monstro. He's such a cool artist. He's from Brazil. I actually got to meet him in person at Brazil Game Show last year. He's got these long dreads. In fact, if you want to know what he looks like, check this out. This is like a self-portrait of him. If we go to his collections, this is a self-portrait of Monstro. He has these huge, long dreads. They're like all the way to his bottom. It's been there for a long time. Of course, I was the last mentor on this, which is pretty cool. So I actually wanted for this one, the art. I was on a call this morning, and there was two things I was going to say. Oh, yeah. The first one was I kind of explained what we're doing, and he's like, cool, but aren't NFTs dead? And I was like, kind of, yeah. But these aren't NFTs. These have all the utility of NFTs that are dead, but it also has this whole new thing that brings life in them. Like every NFT is also a scratcher, right? Like we can have these big pools where we can mint for free. And let's see if we can put ourselves in. Hey, Bodie. Bodie's one of our buddies. If you guys have have watched any of our, like when we used to do Not Another Web3 game show, me and Knock, we had all these cool graphics and stuff that Bodie made for us. And he was has been like a cool graphic designer and stuff. Cool to see him on Last Mint now too. But if this holds right now, I will have just minted for free and we'll end up with 1.1 Sol as my prize. And Bodie unfortunately got bumped into the runner-up spot, which is still worth 0.274. I don't know. That's probably, I mean, Sol's ripping today, guys. We're at 190 right now. So this is going to be worth close to like, you know, $5 or something, or $50. I mean, not bad. So I mean, these sponsors are awesome, guys. They came in, they said, listen, I don't know how much you guys know about my history, but founder of Honeyland, I've been in Web3 gaming for 4 years now, just about. November of 2021 is when I first kind of entered the scene. We built Honeyland, the largest mobile game on Solana. That was just acquired last month. And we've kind of made a small pivot at our studio to building, instead of like fully Web3 games, trying to build gamified viral Web3 applications. And so stuff like Last Mint, we've got a couple other things that we are working on right now. But yeah, he goes, hey, are NFTs dead? And I go, yeah, they're dead. So we made this post here. They said NFTs were dead. So we said, keep the art, add instant prizes, make every mint a scratcher. And now we're the only ones worth minting, right? So like, why would you ever launch an NFT collection that didn't have this second Last Mint utility, right? You have literally all the utility of everything else. So I don't know if you can see when I pull up this. No, you can't see. Okay. I was going to show you my Phantom, but the NFT that we just minted here, this like free mint that we just minted. Where did we do it? I don't know. I'm bouncing back and forth too much. So, but anyways, when we mint that, oops, I don't want to create a collection. I'm all over the place, guys. Oh, you just got some alpha there if you guys were paying attention. Anyways, when I go mint this immediately heads into my wallet. So let's mint this thing. Let's see where we get into the collection. Let's see if we're lucky. Damn, not lucky. But we are, you can see the little crown here. We are the last minter, at least for now. And so when we come in here, this, let's see, why is this not? This should be in here immediately. Let's see if we can refresh and maybe get this thing to pop in. There we go. So this is now an on-chain NFT. Like we can go check this out. We can see it on Tensor. We can see it on SolScan. Like it is a live collection right now that can be traded. You can put an offer in on it if you wanted it, just like this. So we just minted this thing. Pretty cool to see all of that happening. So why would you ever launch or mint an NFT that's not done through Last Mint, considering that now you have not only all of the utility of an NFT, fully tradable on-chain NFTs, but also you have this whole, Metaplex, or not Metaplex, this whole redemption value through Last Mint for at least 30 days to make kind of that extra decision. So let's see some cool stuff there. So they told us NFTs were dead. We said, cool, let's keep the art and then let's add a whole bunch of gamification to it. And that's where we're at. This guy, I'm going to mint this guy right now. And I'll tell you why. He is, you saw that post that I made here, which has this same little guy. I believe early alpha again. I believe he's going to become our mascot. We're working on like some really cool like video content that we can make just understanding Last Mint a lot easier. So let's try and do that. For those who are just coming to Last Mint right now, first off, let's share the stream, get your referral code. If you guys need a referral code when you're logging in, has anybody left it in the comments? No, but you can use Corey as a referral code if you want. I'm happy to, get referrals and stuff, but you can see that I'm actually making money from my referrals. So as more referrals come in, as they mint, I'm making 2% of everything they mint. And so I know that may not seem like a ton, but consider the recycle mechanic of this, right? So I mint for whatever I mint for, and then I go ahead and I redeem the Sol. My wallet gets refilled back up to, it's at 0.971. Look, if we want to do some cool things, we can come in here. Let's just withdraw this. We need a little bit more Sol till we can withdraw. But let's, we could start like, if I just take my redeemable, let's go with finished, redeemable, let's sort by value. And if I just want to, let's say, final star test, I think this was like the very first NFT that we ever minted. July 15th. Yeah. So this was at 7:17 in the morning. So this was like the final test. So this is kind of like, this might have been the very first NFT ever minted on mainnet. And so I'm probably not going to redeem that one. We'll keep that maybe for a little bit of other value. But Solana Riches, let's go ahead and redeem this. We just want to get ourselves back above 1 Sol, right? So let's just get above 1 Sol. We'll redeem that one. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan, so and we got a 5x multiplier on this, which is great. So you'll notice multipliers help, right? So think of this as, what's going on behind me? Come on, guys. knuckleheads, you know, you bring kids in, you let them join the stream, and then all of a sudden they try and sabotage it. No, I'm kidding. They're good kids. They're incredible kids, but summertime gives them a little bit more access to what we're doing with the work side of things. So, and some really cool collections. I'm going to go to ending soon. Let's see if there's anything ending soon right now. This one's 15 minutes. I like this. This is cool art. I wonder if there's multiple things. Just one NFT. Let's see. We've got 5 runner-ups that will get 10% of the pool. So each runner-up will get 2% of this amount, whatever that ends up being when the collection closes. The last minter will get 10% of this amount. And the reset timer is 30 minutes. So here's the basic mechanics of last mint. It is a full NFT launchpad where anybody can create a collection in under 60 seconds. You have full flexibility and customization. We're even adding more and more options for creators as well. But for now, you can launch collections in a really, really simple manner. And they have this gamified element to them as well. And so when everybody's minting, it's going into a pool, a prize pool. It does not go to the creator immediately. It does not go to us immediately. It goes into a prize pool. And then once this collection ends, and there's one way right now that this collection can end, which is if this reset timer hits 0. And so right now, this reset timer is at 14 minutes and 25 seconds. When we mint this, we will immediately reset the timer back to 30 minutes. And so every time somebody mints, the timer resets. And so we can see now it's back to 30 minutes. And we have that will hopefully count down. And I hope that nobody mints. And if nobody mints, I will have turned 0.01 SOL into 0.027 SOL. Really easy to do, right? Or I could hang on to the NFT if I wanted. Oftentimes, I think that I already mint this one. I did already mint this one. So I already have one that I can hold on to for kind of like to make sure that I keep one in my wallet if I want. Or I could redeem that for 0.005 SOL, which let's do the math on that. 0.005, it's going to be like $10 times 190. Wait, 0.005, is that right? Times 190. Yeah, it's like $1. I'd rather hang on to that than redeem it for the $1. 1 second. Hey guys, for reals, if you guys want to be in here, I'm doing a live stream. Okay, you guys can cut it if you want, or you guys can hang out. But I can't have you guys horseplay. Okay. That's how we parent, guys. All right. Cool. So this is kind of, and we could see that so why is this one worth more than this one? If I'm the last minter, I have the gold crown. Why is this one worth less? Well, he probably got a multiplier. Yeah, there you go. So he got a 5x multiplier. He was both lucky and currently is late. My kind of tagline here is be early, be late, be lucky. And so early matters in collections that run or collections that have like high escalating fees to each subsequent mint. Being late always matters, especially when there's like a big pool and a big percentage of that pool that's going towards the last minter. And then being lucky, anybody can get a 5x, a 2x, or a 10x multiplier anytime you're minting in this collection. And so you can kind of see there's been 3 lucky people out of the first 22 mints. We've got how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runner-ups and 1 last minter. That kind of determines where the prizes get allocated. And so everything goes into an on-chain pool. And then at the end of this collection, once this timer hits 0, everything locks. We'll know the exact redemption value of every NFT. And at that point, we can come to our profile on last mint. Like we're above that 1 SOL, which is what we wanted to do. And we would have the ability to, let's just go with like anything that's finished, anything that's redeemable. And we'd have the ability to start redeeming these to claim our SOL. Or again, we could hang on to the NFT. So that's kind of the basics. And again, I'll go back to, this is what I'm excited to see. Like, this launched the day that Ozzy passed away. There was some stuff about the Coldplay concert stuff when the founder was found, to be in doing some crazy stuff. Anyways, what was I going to say? I don't know. Guys, there's no script here or anything like that. All right, so let's go to ending soon. Let's see if there's anything. We're the last minter on this one, so we just want this one to run out. And then everything else has at least a little bit of a timer beyond that. I'm a runner-up in this one. I'm a runner-up in this one. I don't think I've minted either of these. I can just go to my activity and I can see. So I'm pretty much the last minter or a runner-up in most of these collections, which is cool. Some of these it could be because like this one has, I don't know how many runner-ups, but if we look at the details of this collection and we click the image, we can see there's multiple variants here, which is kind of cool. And we can see there's, let's see, 10 runner-ups. So there's not like a ton. Some collections had like just way too many runner-ups. So every runner-up would get 1% of this amount. The last minter will get 10% of this amount. And the reset timer right now is 720 minutes. Now, this timer actually used to be longer. And some people have been like, well, if the timer is 12 hours, isn't this just going to go on forever? And partially the answer is yes. But there's a couple things that we've built in here. So number one, the escalating mint fees. So the fact that each mint becomes a percentage more expensive than the previous one. I didn't really get to this yet. So there's kind of 4 key things that make this very interesting. Number one is that every mint has an escalating price. So if it's 0.1 SOL to start, the next one could be 0.11 SOL and then 0.12 SOL. And so getting in early, if you assume that all of these funds are going into a pool that's going to be basically evenly split out between each mint afterwards, then being early is a way that you can make more money than you spent, right? Especially if collections get to hundreds of mints. Like that's when it becomes really starts to become more juicy. And if they have higher escalating mint fees. So escalating mint fees. The second thing is the timer, and that it has a reset every time there's a mint, the timer goes back to the full amount. A couple things here. Number one is that that timer will decrease over time if the mint activity slows down. And so if somebody set a timer to 24 hours, which I think is the max timer that you can set, and if that doesn't have hundreds of mints taking place over the course of a day, then we will immediately start to shrink that by 6 hours, and then by 6 hours, and then by 6 hours, and then until it gets ultimately down to like 1 hour. And so we will force the timers to start getting shorter and shorter for collections that don't have a lot of volume, because the last thing anybody wants is a collection that somebody could mint 365 times and keep it live for an entire year. It's just not fun. It locks the liquidity. And so we want to make sure that there's turnover. We want events. We want outcomes. We want all of this stuff to be ending at some point. And so even right now, where most of these collections are like set to 3 hours or 1.5 hours, or I don't know what this is from the mint time. Let's see. This one's 2 hours, right? Those collections will not necessarily be super popular once we get the next 10,000 users on the site. Then you're going to start looking at timers that are in the 3 to 5 to 10 minutes. And those collections can get a ton of volume in a short period of time and have a winner. Everybody can claim their soul and we can kind of move on, right? And then go redeploy and get involved in another collection. And this is where this becomes an NFT casino. And so I know NFTs aren't cool, but these are not NFTs as you know them. These are basically digital scratchers that carry a ton of really cool art or utility along with them. We also have some cool collections that are going to be doing cool stuff with this. I think I can share this. There's a device out there called the DGen device. It's DEGN, and it's like a meme coin trading device. They're in pre-sale right now. They've sold a bunch of them already, and they're really cool devices. And so I think they're doing like a final pre-sale push of, and I could be wrong on all this stuff. Just throw out the specifics here, but I'm kind of moving with the information that I think I'm able to share. But I think they're going to do a final pre-sale push of about $400 for a device, and then they'll move to like the actual sales. And I think those are going to be closer to like $650 or $700 or something like that. And so getting in early, kind of pre-buying is going to be cool. And so they said, hey, how can we use last mint? Like the people buying these devices are degens, they're meme coin traders. Like I'm sure they would love to do something like this. And so they're doing 2 cool things, I think. The first one is I think they're going to do like a raffle mint. So basically, you'll be able to, for some amount of dollars, maybe $10 or something, you can mint what would be an NFT that let's talk about the dual, the last mint utility that we'll have is that it has a redemption value. The DGen, like the product, their project utility is that if you actually transfer that NFT back to them, then that will enter you into a raffle for a DGen device. So you can mint this thing, and heck, let's say you get lucky, you get a 5x multiplier. Well, I think the way that they've designed it, you'll actually get 5 entries into the raffle instead of 1. So, or you'll get 5 times more of the value within the pool than you would have got if you only had a 1x multiplier. And so how we figure this out is basically you take the entire pool that's locked. So you take this entire amount. Let's get to like some of the hottest ones or the gems. I think these have the bigger. So let's take something like this. It's about 3 SOL, right, in the prize pool. So you take that entire amount, and then we can say, great, if this ended at 3 SOL right now, then the last minter would get 0.3 SOL. Each of the runner-ups would get 0.03 SOL, right? And then you'd have about 302 NFTs, because even the last minter and the runner-up have like the fixed redemption value. 302 minted NFTs, which on average, I think there's about 35 additional, basically multiplier units for every 100. So we would expect that about 300 mints would carry about 400 redemption units, right? And so if this was 3 SOL, we backed off 0.3, and then we backed off another 0.3, we're looking at about 2.4 SOL. We as a platform, we take 5%. And so you can just take 5% off the top. The creator is going to get 0.5%. And then the rest is what's left in the pool, which is going to be about 74.5% of the 3 SOL. So if we go 3 SOL times 0.074, you're looking at 3 times 0.74, not 0.74, 2.22 SOL. So now you're going to take 2.22 SOL. That's the rest of the redemption pool after the last minters have been paid, last mint has been paid, runner-ups have been paid, creators been paid. There's 2.2 SOL left back in the pool. And now that gets distributed amongst however many redemption units there are. And so if everybody hit a 1x multiplier, not a single person was lucky, then you would divide that by 302. But assuming that there's about 35 bonus redemption units, like lucky mints within the, not 35 lucky mints, but if you get a 10x, that counts as 10 additional units or 9 additional units, right? And so if you assume that you're looking at that, then probably about 400 redemption units. And so 2.22 SOL will be split between 400 redemption units. So you divide that by 400, and each unit would be worth about 0.0055 or 0.006 SOL. Let's see if we go look at this collection. Yeah, so they're all 0.005 on average, right? But let's say you hit a multiplier, then it's going to be 0.011. And that's why, I mentioned, in fact, that is right here. So you can see 0.011 because it is 0.0055 technically, or 54 probably, right around there. And so it rounds up to 0.011 because this one was lucky. So a lucky mint will have a higher multiplier than an unlucky mint. But whether you were the 237th, or I should say 236th mint, or the first mint, if you weren't lucky, the redemption is all the exact same. And so this prize pool or this mint doesn't actually escalate very quickly. It's 0.02%. And so the first minter paid 0.01 SOL to mint. The 300th minter is also paying 0.01 SOL to mint. And so there's not a big escalation here, which kind of creates there's not the same like degeneracy to this pool. But if you do find something like this, my daughter launched this pool here a little while ago, and this one has a much higher, I believe this has a 1% escalation fee, a 0.5% price increase. So this one started at 0.02. It's only at 117 mints, but because of that, the new minting is 0.035. So this one, if you were early, you minted at 0.02. You had the exact same chance of getting lucky or anything like that. And if you're minting later, you're minting at 0.035. And so the redemption unit of each of these is 0.014. Look at this. So when these early mints, these people minted for, here you go, I got a couple of these. I minted these right around 0.02 SOL. They're now all, 0.02, not 0.01. So there's a small loss for the ones that weren't lucky. There's a win for the one that is lucky. And you can see this 5x multiplier ends up being a big win. And then with this pool, there's a heavy amount that's going towards these final minters. And so this will continue to kind of add some excitement to this collection, that there's mints that are, people are going to be really fighting for these prize positions because they're done in a way that the prize pool has gotten decently large, over 3 SOL. And the runner-up share and last minter share, runner-ups get each like 3.3% of this pool. Last minter will get 10% of this pool. So there's some good rewards for people at the end, which again, as a creator, you can determine all of these things. So let me see if I can find just something that I'm trying to think. Okay, so this one we're not going to use, unfortunately. I really liked this one. So let's go here. So if we wanted to launch these like as the artwork, we can just set the artwork. This was done. It was a submission from one of our contests that we did. We didn't end up picking it. I loved this one. Unfortunately, I'm not the one who has the remaining say in all this stuff. But so you name this collection. We're not going to actually launch this. You choose your base price, let's say 0.1, or you can launch it at 1 SOL, or you can launch it at 5 SOL. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you think people will mint, whatever your thing is. If you're being more memes, then you can launch it at something relatively low. I think you can go as low as 0.01 is the lowest that you can go, but you can go anywhere above between 0.01 and probably like 100 SOL or something. Yeah, it looks like you can do 100. Let's see if you can do 101. You can. Let's see how much you can do. Okay, you can't go above 10,000. Let's see if we can do 99. Nope. 1,000. 1,001. 1,000. What did we do? 5,000? 5,001. Okay, so 5,000. We found our mark. Between 0.01 1 and 5,000 soul is what you could do. 5,000 soul. That would be interesting. 1, 2, 3 times 190. That's almost $1 million. So the first mint would be $1 million. That would be very interesting to see how it goes. Name your collection. You can add a description if you want. And then in here, this is where you get all the dials to say like, hey, how quickly should this increase? You can go as low as 0.1 and as high as 1% with each mint. How much the last minter be? As low as 1%, as high as 10%. Do we want runner-ups? Or we need to have at least one runner-up that's getting at least 1%, but you can do all the way up to 100 runner-ups that would share 10%, right? And then you get to set the reset timer as low as 1 minute and up to 24 hours, basically, is what 1440 is. And so, and if you don't want to have to think about that, you can just click chill or spicy or degen or YOLO, and you can see that the countdown timers get shorter as you go more YOLO. The price increases get higher. If you go something more chill, the price increases are lower. The reset timers are a little bit longer. You get more runner-ups, all that type of stuff. So you can choose these, but you can customize everything as well. You can always add any social links. So if you want, you can add different Twitter and Discord. So if you're an artist or a project, this is a really cool way to do it. Accept the terms. You can buy the first one if you want. If it's not safe for work, make sure you mark it as so. Otherwise, people will report you. And then you can create the collection. You'll sign it into chain, and that collection goes immediately live, which is really cool. So super easy to launch collections. And there was, let's see, should I show? No, I'm going to save it. How many people we got on here? 80 people. Fuck it. Let's do it. All right. So some alpha blast. Anybody who's followed me from Honeyland knows that when I get on these things, I just run my mouth all the time and end up sharing way more than I should. Oh, well. So pool type, normal. You guys do not see these two things. We have golden, normal, and Joker mints, which we are still finalizing, but Joker mints will be will be live very soon. And then with these mints, we also have the ability to add different currencies in here that can be both for the reward pool, and then eventually you'll also be able to choose a currency that you are even able to for the base price. So right now it's only in Sol. We'll be adding a drop down here eventually. And then we're actually even going to make it available so that you can enter your own CA in there. So if you think about this, you go launch, let's say you're a real artist. This artist, again, I love their art. I would mint this. By the way, if you're watching this, go mint this damn collection. I know that you weren't a winner, so we're not going to launch it. But if you launch this, I will mint this. I love this art. I think it's really, really cool. But you would be able to basically say, hey, I want this to be 1,000 HXD or 1,000 Metaplex, MPLX. And so ultimately, we're going to have a very small number of kind of pre-built tokens. Hopefully we'll have some of the more popular kind of meme bonks and things like that. So in there, and that you can start launching these collections in. So they don't all have to be Sol. They can also be done in other popular collections. But you can also enter a CA and make it a specific token that maybe isn't preloaded or isn't necessarily verified, but you can do it. So let's say you wanted to launch a collection. You're a real artist, and you go, cool. My art name is 123 Dojo, right? Let's say that's my artist name. Well, I can go launch a 123 Dojo token on Last Mint, on Pump Fund, and then basically enter that contract address in here and say it's going to cost you 1,000,000 123 Dojos in order to mint this, and has an escalating fee, which means now I can drive immediate utility for any meme coin that you're launching on Pump Fund directly here by being able to launch or mint a collection. And again, that could just be the jackpot side of things. Maybe you're not a creator and you just say, hey, listen, go mint this token and then let's have some fun in here. Or maybe you are a real creator and you go, I want to launch a token with a collection, and the only way to get the collection is to mint my token. And maybe there's some additional ways that you can win. I've bounced around a lot of stuff. This question mark up here kind of gives you how it works. So if you're not familiar with kind of how everything works, this will give you hopefully a pretty good rundown. How you can win by being a creator, how you can win by being a verified creator that will allow you to become what we call beacons, where you can get, or you can just refer, and basically as you refer people as they mint on the platform, you can make a percentage of what they're minting. We've got some core concepts and definitions in here. So if you want to know what's the claim window and what are royalties and refers and all that stuff, the different collection types. So here you can see that we've got the Joker mints. And what will happen with the Joker mints is, so one of the things that people have said is hey, listen, this collection may never end. It's got a 12-hour timer. Where's the, let's go to gems. let's launch this one. The Grateful Collection is a good one. Good idea, right? So if I remint this, it's going to go back to, I think, like 10 hours or something. Let's see. Yeah, 10 hours, right? So as soon as I mint, it goes back to 10 hours. I don't really feel, let's see, that any of these 3 people are very safe, right? In terms of being in like those prize positions. There's a good chance that somebody's going to eventually mint this. But if this timer was down to 30 minutes and would only reset to 30 minutes, then you'd have to pay a lot more attention. You can't just like mint, leave for half a day, and then come back and see if anybody's minted after you type of thing. And so you have to stay a lot more active on it. And so what we're going to be doing is, because we want people to be able to launch long timers, but we also want people to not have to wait forever. 2 things. Number one, we will eventually have like an instant redeem feature where if you have a NFT that is in an active collection. So let's say we have, where's my NFTs? There we go. So let's say this is in an active collection, and right now I could redeem this for 0.014 SOL. I would probably have an instant redeem option of 0.012 SOL if I just want to say, listen, I'll just take, you can have the NFT back. I don't want to wait around for this. I want the liquidity to go mint another collection. You'll have like not a surrender value, but like before the collection ends, you'll be able to redeem it for the NFT. We'll take possession of it. We'll basically loan you the NFT, and then we'll go redeem it when the collection's over. And so that's how that will work. And then the other thing is those Joker mints. So what a Joker mint is you'll be able to set at a certain number of mints, a Joker mechanic will kick in. And what that means is you'll have a 1% chance of minting a Joker every time you mint. And if you mint the Joker, it immediately ends the collection right there. And so it becomes the last minter. So you do not have to wait for the timer to hit 0 once the Joker becomes active within a Joker collection. And so you'll be able to see, just like how this says gold collection, you'll know that it's a Joker collection. You'll know when the Joker is active because there needs to be a certain number of mints that are met. It's not like from the very first mint, there's not a 1% chance. Otherwise, those mints would rarely get above 100 mints. And we want these things to fly, right? Like we want these mints to really, really get big. I'll show you why. Check this out. So if we, if I pull this up really quickly, and I'll show it to you guys. See if I can, it's an image, but it's much easier to just present it as a window because then you can see my mouse. So give me just 1 sec. All right, so check this out. This is like some simulations that we put into place. And this is a collection that could start as little as, let's see, where 0.1 SOL. So starts at, what's that, a $19 mint, which is not nothing, but it's not like, it's not crazy for anybody who's been in NFTs for a while. 0.1 SOL is pretty darn cheap. And that would be the first mint fee, right? And if this gets to 500 mints, I think we've set the escalation on this as like 0.1%. So it's kind of the lowest escalation that you could have with a collection. Now, we initially had collections that you could launch with lower escalating. That's why like that 404 collection, but forget about that. Now 0.1 SOL is, or pardon me, 0.1% is the smallest amount of increase that you could have. And so if we look at this, I'm just going to pull this over here actually. All right. So at 500 mints, the total revenue in the pool would actually be 56 SOL. And so, of course, there's not, if 500 people pay 0.1 SOL, it's not that much above, but there's slightly escalating fees, right? And then the 500th mint would be paying 0.1283 SOL instead of 0.1 SOL. The redemption value becomes, on average, 0.096. This does not account for lucky mints. So if you're lucky, you'll have 2 to 10 times that. If you're unlucky, it'll actually be slightly less than this because we haven't like blended in luckies and unluckies in this. This is just assuming that everything was a 1x mint. You'd be looking at 0.096. So you have almost a pretty close to full redemption. 96% would be your redemption if you were the very first mint. And if you were the 500th mint, you still have 75% redemption. Now, if that collection ended right there, and you were one of 10 runner-ups that were sharing 5%, you would get 0.284 SOL. And if you were the very last minter, you get 2.8. So you could turn 1 SOL if you're the very first. Actually, I guess you couldn't be the very last minter. You'd have to be minting at 0.128, but 0.128 then turns into 2.8. That's a pretty good, I don't want to do all sorts of public math, but that's about a 20x, I believe. All right, but this is where it starts to get good. Let's skip over 1,000. Let's get to 5,000, I guess, really quickly. At 5,000, we start to have now 2,200 SOL in the mint pool. 22, 34, 35, let's say, times 190. ends up being about $420,000 worth of SOL in this mint pool at 5,000. The last minter will now get 111 SOL, which I think if I can do math off the top of my head is probably about $20,000. Each runner-up would get about $2,000, and the final minter is only paying $220. So a final minter who still stays in the runner-up window, if they're one of the final 11 people, they would be guaranteed their 11.1 SOL. And if they were the last minter, they'd be guaranteed 111 SOL. So this starts to get really juicy. But guys, this is where it gets out of control. From 5,000 to 10,000, everything changes. 29,000 SOL in this pool. 29, what do we have? 430 times 190. And we're looking at $5.6 million would be locked in this pool. Whoever created this pool would have 147 SOL. I mean, we're talking about $20,000 just for their 0.5% of the pool. 147 times 190. Yeah, we're looking at $28,000 just for whoever created this pool and it ran. It is getting at their 0.5% is getting that much. The last minter is getting now, if that was 28,000, they're getting about $280,000. Each of these runner-ups is getting $28,000. Every NFT can be redeemed for about $500. And so somebody came in here and paid, what do we say, $20 or something to mint the first one, is now redeeming it for $500. That's a pretty good, what's that, 25x. And so, yeah, and the final minter would now be paying 14.8 SOL. And so this is where it starts to, the fee to mint starts to become really, really significant. So from here to here, it's not that big of a jump. From here to here, it's not that big of a jump. From here to here, it's not that big of a jump. But from here to here, it starts to get kind of this hockey stick effect to where it becomes wild. And so collections get really, really exciting there. And if this was if this becomes a Joker mint, at some point, the Joker would kick in. And, you could even say, let's say we wanted a Joker to kick in at 1,000 mints. You could still simulate this exact same thing by just making your starting price 1 SOL instead of 0.1 SOL. And it would get to this amount by here because it's already, going to be basically, it would get there that much quicker because you're starting at such a higher fee. And so you can get some really, really big pools, even with not having 10,000 mints when the starting price is just a little bit more. So, all right, that's, oh yeah, I was supposed to, let's see. I was supposed to tell MPLX when we went live and I forgot. So I will, let me just tell them now. Let me forward this to them. Cool. All right. Told you this is just random. Hey, if anybody has comments or anything like that, oops, I don't want that. If anybody has comments or anything, let me know. Questions about how Last Mint works, something that you guys are excited about. If you guys have a feature request, if you guys have, pretty much anything that you guys think would be useful, let me know. And probably stay on for another 10, 15 minutes on the stream here, which would be fun. But if you got comments, let me know. These, by the way, sparkling water. I never was a sparkling water fan until I discovered Spindrift, and now I'm addicted. All right, let's find if there's anything. I'm just going to come on here. So these searching things are super useful as well. So we fell out of the last minter. Somebody, Big Daddy, jumped on top of me, stepped on me. Thanks a lot. And then, yeah, we've got a couple of the collections. Nothing's getting super close. 1,000 mints in this. Let's go mint some of these free mints. Why not? So there are no gold mints remaining here. Those have all been minted out. So now we're just competing to try and be the last minter. Guys, I promise I won't try and hog that thing. I'm just keeping it going. This one, though, does have, we'll see, 267 gold mints remaining. So you can see in this, when was the last one? Wow, a long time ago. Mint 405 was a gold mint. And Super Mario, I believe this is, will be able to redeem this for $10, which is really cool. Or basically, there's $3,000 divided by however many gold mints are minted. So up to 300, meaning that the minimum will be $10, but you can actually end up getting more than that too. So let's try and mint for gold. Not gold. Let's mint for gold again. What's up, FKPV1? You and me. I don't think either one of us are really minting to try and be the last minter. This thing will rip to several thousand mints. So right now you're just trying to get gold. Let's try one more time. Oh, the other cool thing, guys. So we'll mint one more. Let's get gold so you guys can see how cool it is. Nope. You'll get a little pop-up, by the way, if you mint gold or mint a multiplier. But when we're in here now and we look at these are now NFTs that if I go to basically like, well, you won't see it, but these will not, oh, these do have a redemption value because they're, but this one current value is 0, right? Because it's not a last minter. It's not, it didn't win a prize or anything like that. And so there is no redemption value for this. So when this collection ends, you'll see, in fact, you'll see, let's see, finished. And then if I go like this one, this was another gold mint collection that we did. This is not a winner. There is no reward. I cannot claim any reward for this because it was a free mint. However, we're going to be building a ticketing system very, very soon to where you'll be able to take any NFT and redeem it for a ticket. And that can be any of these free mints will be a really useful thing that you can do with this. And then those tickets will basically, we're building a full arcade of like degen, hyper casual degen games. And so slot machines, lucky wheel spins, raffles, games of kind of skill and chance and PvP and all these things that you'll be able to basically go. And we know how to build mini games. Like this is like what we could excel at. And so basically you'll be able to go redeem your NFTs. Just say like, hey, rather than having I've got 200 worthless NFTs sitting in my wallet. And these ones, you know, keep one because I think this art is rad. But if you don't want the art or you have enough, then you can go basically redeem them all and get tickets back. And then those tickets act as like your entry fee into a whole bunch of other like games that have real prizes, cash prizes, NFT prizes, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's coming relatively soon. Here, let's see, any other things worth doing? Oh, this is, by the way, is my daughter's collection. So if you guys want to, this is zigzag art. So I'll give you the quick story behind this. She came to me about a month ago and said, hey, Dad, I've been drawing a lot of stuff on my iPad. And if you can see these images, you can see there's actually a whole bunch of different ones that you could mint here. And she said, listen, I've been drawing a bunch of stuff on my iPad. You saw her back there a while ago. She's 8 years old and she loves art. And, you know, this isn't her best work. She's done a lot of other much cooler stuff, if I'm being honest. But these are fun, right? And she said, I want to launch a store. So she started like selling her art. Like she's on full entrepreneur. She's like, Dad, every weekend, all she wants to do is go sell. She makes cards and sells them around the holidays. She makes art and sells them. She launches lemonade, free lemonade and cookies, but she'll have a Venmo if you want to tip her. And like, she's the 8-year-old entrepreneur. She's awesome. She came to me, she said, Dad, I want to launch, I have this art. I want to start selling it online, like not just to the neighbors or, you know, whoever's in the community. By the way, she went to a friend's house over this last weekend and it's summertime right now for them. They sold lemonade and cookies and art and bracelets and stuff for like an afternoon. They made $72 between her and her friend. They split it. She came in with $36, which is wild. And now she just wants to spend it all on like games. Nonetheless, she said, can I launch a store? I said, sure, sweetie. She wanted to sell like physical art. I said, sure, sweetie, but here's what you got to realize that, and I've run e-commerce stores. I've had, you know, some pretty decent successes with some fun products. And I'll get into that sometime in like another AMA when we're just unfolding stuff. But I've run some really, really cool e-commerce stores, but I haven't, that's a lot of my background prior to getting into Web3. And so I said, cool, let's go get you a Shopify store. It'll cost you, you know, about $20 a month just for like the basic package, $30 a month, I think now for the basic package. You're going to have, every time somebody buys something, there's credit card processing fees. You're going to have, you have to store all of the goods. You're going to have to ship everything. You're going to need packing materials. Some things are going to get lost in the mail or they're going to get ripped in the mail and you're going to have to ship another one. And so just let's make sure that as we launch a business, you know, that there's real expenses. We got to go buy the domain. We got to pay for the hosting. And so she's like, oh, that's a lot. I said, or it's all digital, right? She said, yeah. I go, why don't we just set you up with a account on Last Mint and you can just go create your collections and just upload all your images. And, you know, then we can just launch the collections right here. And it's cost you, I think about, you know, $1 to launch a collection, just the on-chain fees. And then you'll make far more than $1 back as people are minting your NFTs and all of that stuff. And then anything that if anybody wants to hold on to the art instead of redeem it for the NFT, you get all of that at the end of 30 days. And so, you know, the idea here is if you're launching real art and people want to hang on to the NFTs, whatever they paid for the NFT, if they're going to forfeit their ability to claim that back, that goes to the verified creators for anybody who's a verified creator. And so she is a verified creator and it's a cool way to kind of get in. By the way, this was something I started to say earlier. Verified creators, as of today, we are no longer bringing anybody in, but we are still bringing people in. We're not going to advertise or publicize that. But if you want to become a verified creator today, it costs you absolutely nothing. You will bump your referral rewards from 0.5% all the way up to 2% for anybody that you send to the platform and they end up participating and spending. You can make 2% of everything they mint on here for life as a referral reward. You can you'll get a badge, a verified creator badge. So you can see a lot of these people have the verified creator badges because it's free to get right now, which is pretty cool. You will you'll have access to special type of collections or features that you can launch that others can't. You will, I'm missing some of the biggest benefits. You'll get a custom referral code. Anyways, a number of things. If you want to become a beacon or a verified creator, let's see, I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. Go to Last Mint Twitter account and go to our articles and find this here that says the game that's changing minting forever. And I believe in here somewhere we have a become a beacon. There's a little buried link in here. Click that. It will take you to a Google form that this tells you that you must do this by August 4th. So it's technically closed, but we haven't really closed. So we reserve the right to close this at any time, but it is not necessarily closed. We still want more verified creators. And so just say that you want to become both. Come in here and tell us, that you're qualified and give us all your information. Tell us what you want your username to be and all that stuff. And then you'll click next. We'll collect where your wallet you want for your rewards. Here it is. Form takes, just a little bit of time. And then you can go get that and become a verified creator. Eventually, we will start charging for this. I believe that you'll be able to sign up. Anybody can become a verified creator, but it's going to cost, I believe, 1 SOL to get all those benefits that I just talked about, a one-time fee, and you'll be a verified creator forever. Or you can just go do that right now, become a verified creator. Listen, whether or not you ever refer somebody, whether or not you ever launch a collection, there's no cost to doing it right now. Just get signed up. And then, if you ever decide to use it, and when you realize that Last Mint has everybody in all of Solana participating, talking about it, tweeting about it, minting on it, launching, you'll want to be a part of it. I promise you, you'll be happy if you go get that verified creator badge and title right now. Hempty, what's happening? I see a Hey Corey in there. Good to see you on here, my man. Let's see. Is there anything else that I needed to talk about? I still want to get this free mint. I don't think, by the way, it's limited to two winning gold tickets per wallet on this mint. So if you've gotten it twice, no need to keep minting until we get into kind of where the timer starts getting close to ending and you can be fighting for Last Mint rewards. Man, are we going to get a gold mint or what? Huge props to MPLX as well. There's a funny story with MPLX. I'll tell this, and then if there's no other comments or anything, I will wrap up the stream shortly after this. But so there's about 100 million, I believe, 100 million NFTs that have been minted on Solana right now. And MPLX is the standard behind every, I think, 99% of those NFTs that are on chain. And so there's a small MPLX fee that you pay every time you mint an NFT. It goes to them. That's how they generate revenue. One of the best business models in all of Web3. Kudos on them. But they were early. They built the standard. They took on the technical work early. They did all the stuff, and now they get rewarded. Well, they recently launched MPLX Core, which is a far more efficient way of minting. But back in the day, a year ago, they didn't have MPLX Core. There was a MPLX standard. And we had Sol where it had ripped from 20 or 18, 20, 25 Sol. And then all of a sudden it ripped to 200 and then 250 Sol about 2 years ago or last year sometime. It's all a blur to me. But the MPLX fees are denoted in Sol. So it was 0.0015 Sol that you pay. Well, now it was a little bit more when we were minting on the MPLX standard. Well, minting an NFT had gone from $1 to $6 as, Sol went from $30 to $180 or whatever it was. Right. And so now minting NFTs in Honeyland, which was our, my founder of Honeyland, that became a real expense, a legitimate expense. And if we're minting, 1,000 new NFTs a week, which we were doing easily, then we're talking about we're spending $6,000 a week. At minimum, we were spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month just in minting fees. And a lot of that was going to Metaplex. And so we weren't all that happy with Metaplex. You know, I didn't know what to do. So I kind of told my community, like, hey, go tell Metaplex that you're not happy. Well, Metaplex didn't like that, rightfully so. And they reached out to me and said, hey, listen, we appreciate all you guys do. We're doing good work too. And let's figure out a way that we can work together. And so we ended up working with them. They were about to launch Metaplex Core. They really were influential and instrumental in helping us convert from the regular Metaplex standard to the legacy standard over to the Metaplex Core standard. And NFT minting went from like $6 to like $1. And then as Sol dipped, into the closer to like 150, it became like, well under $1 to mint an NFT within Honeyland, which is fantastic. And so huge props to Metaplex. As we started to get involved with this, we said, hey, Metaplex is going to be a really important partner in this. And so we reached out to them. Thanks to them for this huge, for a $5,000 pool that they're putting up. By the way, you'll notice this says Metaplex Gold Mint 1. There could be more. I don't know. We'll see. But they have been incredibly generous, and there's a lot of prizes that they want to make sure that people have access to. And there may be even some ongoing things that they're going to be doing. If we're become the largest minter of NFTs on all of Solana through Last Mint with you guys and all the creators and all the collections that we're able to build, if we can instigate a lot of that volume, they want to do things that they can kind of support the project in really cool ways as well. So just understand they've been fantastic. So after a little bit of a shaky start with Metaplex, and they reached out to me and said, hey, listen, we'd love to support Last Mint, but we want to make sure that we've cleared the air with all kind of the old stuff that happened. I said, I've cleared the air a long time ago. You guys were great about that. And, so it works. But Metaplex has done really, really cool things for us in this project and in this space. They've been gracious enough for this pool. And so if you're somebody who, I know a lot of people, because of, just the minting fees aren't super pumped on Metaplex, go get some of their money right now. Go mint on Last Mint and go get your free money. These gold mints. Come on, give me a gold mint. Swear this thing's rigged against me. Which is funny because anybody who knows me from Honeyland knows that we have a bunch of raffles and things like that. And anybody who didn't win would just always call it Corey's rigged raffles. And even though they were never rigged, they were fully on chain, fully transparent. I don't know if there was ever a fairer minting or like a raffle process than what we had created, but it became kind of a meme or an inside community joke. Man, this is bumming me out. I want to get a damn gold mint. I know it's only 8%, but like, come on, haven't I minted enough? All right, we're minting till we get gold, party people. That's what we're doing, and then we're wrapping up this stream. GM, Simo, what's happening? Simo is the creator behind. I'll take a quick break. Simo is the creator behind actually 2 of our winning collections. So if we go to finished, Simo's the artist behind this, and super cool. We showed this to Solana, and they were like, "Oh, we love it." It's kind of this sketch style, and then. There's another one that was that will be coming up for Tensor that Simo was the artist behind as well. Some really, really cool stuff. And the artist behind this one is drawing a blank on me, but it was a. Let's see if we go to the collection and we can get to the details. This one was Mongrel. So yeah, Mongrel was a cool one. Did this little axolotl. Let's see. We were minting until we get gold, right? All right, let's keep minting. We're over 500 mints now. That's cool. I think 498 of them are me on this stream. Kidding. Come on. So if I get a gold mint, it will pop up right in my face and say, lucky gold mint. Go share it. Man, unbelievable. Let's keep minting. This is wild, wildly entertaining streaming, right? Gosh, is there anything else that we can do that's more entertaining than watch me mint and fail every time and time and time again? This is kind of cool. A little punk rubber duck. Kind of funny. Rubber ducks are fun. Color black, background pink. Okay. Understood. 508. 509, 510, 511, 512, 528, 597. When will we hit our gold? When will we hit our gold? Yeah, but let's go. I mean, they're handing out $10 to everybody. And then again, if you want to see kind of the rewards when this gets when we come in here. So if you just click the image on any of these, you'll be able to see a lot more like the details. But this is 300 gold mints worth $10 or more. All 300 don't get out. 10 runner-ups to get 100 each, and a last minter to get $1,000. Somebody's gonna get $1,000 from this collection, which is pretty damn cool. And there's more coming. And by the way, Tenzer is launching with us, and a couple others too. That watch, he's gonna get gold right in front of me. He or she. Why are these taking so long to mint? Still settling on chain. Every now and then it gets caught. I'm just going to refresh. We got gold. Of course, we got gold, and I didn't even get the damn pop-up because it was like hung. But we did get gold. All right. Sorry, Harvester. We can get 2 golds per wallet. So, I'll keep minting eventually. I want to get my second gold. I'll also leave a bunch of them in there for you guys. So I'll come back tomorrow and actually try and mint. I'll give you guys another 24 hours to go do your thing. Remember, we've got a live stream tomorrow with MPLX. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. UTC, maybe. Somewhere in there. And we've got it. If you just go to our YouTube account, you can find it right now. Kind of ready to go. And then let's see. We have there's not a lot of live streams going on right now that we're competing with, but yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Next one will be the gold Shirley. Yeah, we did get the gold Shirley. So all right, I think that's it, guys. I just wanted to hop on and vibe for an hour or something, and it seems like we've done that. Go launch your collections if you're artists. Go tell your friends, guys. This is, one of the coolest things is we are incentivizing people to get in early. Refer your friends. If you guys are a project that, like maybe you're a founder of a project or you're involved with a project that you go, hey, my project would love this. Here's what we're offering. We're offering 1% back to any project. So if you are a project that says, hey, let me tell my community about Last Mint, we'll take everything across their anybody who you send to us. We will give you 1% of everything that they mint on the platform. So that becomes a direct referral. We'll take another 1%. We will buy your token with it and hold it in our treasury. And so we can add direct buy pressure. So if you're in 5 projects right now that have a live token and you want us to be buying that token, just go tell your favorite founder, hey, Last Mint is a new project. They're offering to, if you just tweet this out to the community that they, or, launch it in Discord, announce it somehow, share your referral code, that we will then give them 1% of everything that their referrals mint, and we'll buy another 1% of the token. So we got you guys out with any of your bags. Just refer us to any projects. If you guys are on your own, make sure you go get your beacon or verified creator basically tag. We used to have verified creators and beacons as like a separate thing. We're now combining these in just verified creator, but we haven't changed all the language and all these things yet. So it's technically a verified creator, but we used to call it a beacon. Just come to this article here. Look for, you can see verified creators and or beacons. Click either of those links and they should take you to where you need to go. Fill out the form. We'll get you all dialed up. And yeah, go. Oh, you guys can't see my screen. So anyways, I think that's it, guys. I hope you had fun with this. Join me tomorrow. We'll be on with MPLX. We'll talk about some of the cool stuff they're doing, like with Gemini. Yeah, anyways, that's it. Love you guys. And I will catch you tomorrow. Cheers.